Hey there, guys and gals. Welcome back to another conversation. I know, right? Content so quick after I've already posted. Again, I'm trying to get better at it, but let's. That's not why we're here, right? Remember a few videos back, the few of you who do actually watch my content on a regular basis. Remember a few videos back, I told you guys like, yeah, it looks like XDefiant isn't doing so well. This is based on like reports that were going on in the rumor mill and stuff throughout in the industry. Well, today, uh, I think about 2 hours ago, I'm getting recording this around 10 p.m. Eastern time. So maybe 2 or 3 hours ago, Ubisoft went ahead and pulled the plug, man. XDefiant is getting shut down in June. I'm reporting on this not because I'm happy XDefiant is going away. I honestly could care less. Um, I thought it was cool that there was another option out there available for, uh, you know, people who like arcade first-person shooters to engage in. However, I kind of want to go over a couple of things that were obviously apparent from the few times I did play XDefiant, and admittedly I was not good at it. Uh, or at least my KD would say I wasn't good at it. We'll get into that in a minute. Um, and really, we knew this game was dead in October of 2023, on Friday the 13th of October 2023. And if any of you guys are savvy enough, you'll know what that date is. But we'll get to that one a little later on. We'll get to that point a little later on. From my own experience, coupled with the reports that I was getting from people who had some angst against it, or let's say constructive criticism, uh, the problem with XDefiant, and firstly, I'm going from my perspective, is that there was there are skill gap issues in that game, right? Where I think the main people I would die to were kids that were like sprinting down narrow pathways and then jumping and strafing and shooting me at the same time, which is cool, right? Like jump strafing and bunny hopping is a skill, but every lobby there were like 2 or 3 guys on the other team that were doing that shit. Every lobby there were like 2 or 3 guys that were doing that shit, and I didn't complain about it because it's like, well, I don't have to play this. I could play something else, and I just went back to Modern Warfare 3. I kept it on my machine. I played it a few times. And don't get me wrong, Modern Warfare 3 had its share of weird stuff that was happening too. But on Modern Warfare 3, more often than not, even though I was negative in that game as far as my kill death ratio, I was still able to pump out a couple of plus 10 or plus 15 wins. It wasn't until I found a gun that lowered my engagement range or heighten my engagement range and really just was about landing my shots that I was able to get pretty consistent kill death ratios in matches in XDefiant. I know people might be wondering, like, why do you care about kill death ratio? Well, in games like Call of Duty, when you play primarily team deathmatch like I do, kill death ratios matter because you want to deal out more damage than you take, because if you're going 21 and 30, you're giving up 9 kills. And in XDefiant, though I don't think there's a team deathmatch on there, at least not when I was playing it, when you give up kills, it's like giving up kills in uh, something like a League of Legends or Overwatch. You're building somebody's super meter, and a lot of those super moves, really either turn the tide of a match or make things worse for the team that's losing. I think the one thing that really pulled me away from that game is that it took too long for me to find something. that was going to make me competitive with the guys who had figured out how to do the bunny hopping stuff and the slide to shoot stuff. Like, it took too long for me to find something to be able to beat those guys or at least compete with them. And it really wasn't even that, right? Now that I think about it, it was because the game didn't have, and this is going to be a word that if you play Call of Duty or something like that, or you like listening to Call of Duty grifters, you're going to hate hearing me say this, and I'm probably going to be all kinds of motherfuckers, but I don't care. The game doesn't have skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking, and I've seen really good COD players who hate skill-based matchmaking but are logical say this. Skill-based matchmaking exists for a reason. It exists for a reason. I'm not defending it, but I understand why it's there. As a person who went from someone who had the time to sit in front of a game and play it all day to a person who, as a professional, as a person who has like a relationship and just can't sit in front of a fucking TV or a computer screen and click all day, I understand why something like that exists. I understand why there's this programming or software in place to regulate how often you have the chance of winning or losing. Not how often you will win or lose, but how often you have the chance of winning or losing. I understand why there's a regulation for that. It's fucked up. It kind of makes us like experimental hamsters or something, I guess you could say. But again, I understand why it exists. The biggest problem you X-Defiance dudes had was that game catered to the fucking weirdos who every year will spend $70 on Call of Duty, will spend X amount of dollars on skin packs, blueprints for guns, all that stuff, but will constantly make 10 and 20 minute videos bitching about hit registration, skill-based matchmaking. I think the new thing this year, which is the fucking weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life, was skill-based damage. Like, that's a fucking thing. And truth be told, depending on how scummy the Call of Duty devs have been told to be, that might be a thing, but it sounds too stupid to be true, right? So, and I'm not going to call out names because I like some of these guys, right? I watch their content. But what you have to understand about these fucking Call of Duty grifters, these Call of Duty content makers, the only thing they care about, they don't care about the average Joe who may watch their videos' enjoyment of this game. They care about their ability to go into the lobbies of these games, get a 50 kill streak, nuke the lobby, and be able to put up multiple fucking highlight videos of that. That's the only thing they care about. They can sit here and tell you all day that they don't know. That's not what I'm doing. I actually care about the game. No, the fuck you don't. Because you make just as much money making videos bitching about a game that you swear up and down you don't like as you would simply making videos of you getting as many kills as you can naturally and posting those up. As a matter of fact, you probably make more money bitching about the game than you do actually just playing it. And that's the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, on this channel, I call out the grifters, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm calling out probably the most toxic one, the first-person shooter grifters, the guys who want to sit here and complain about fucking Call of Duty and its bullshit software that allows people who actually watch their ass every day a chance to win. Imagine being mad at that. Wow. See, here's the thing, right? Like, X-Defiant was dead again on Friday, October 13th, 2023. X-Defiant was dead. But you had goofballs who gave it hope and gave you hope that, this game's going to kill COD. And a lot of you motherfuckers Went along with that because, well, now Microsoft owns COD, right? And if it dies and you don't like Microsoft because you're a PlayStation fanboy or some shit like that, well, then Microsoft spent $70-something billion on nothing. Let me tell you something. As an old head, right? An old guy who literally lived in a year, and I was gaming heavy, lived in a year where NFL 2K5 came out for $20, and pretty much top to bottom, the gameplay was subjectively so, right? It was subjective whether or not the gameplay was better, but from top to bottom, NFL 2K5 presentation, sound, all of that shit was better than Madden. You know what the problem was? NFL 2K had only existed for 6 years to that point. 2K, 2K1, 2K2, 2K3, yeah, 6 years. Madden had been around since like the Sega Genesis. Do you guys understand how hard it is to beat an established IP at anything? Do you understand how hard that is? Do you understand how hard it is to crack that code? Like, the motherfuckers who sit here and tell you, oh yeah, this game's gonna come out, it's gonna kill Fortnite, they're morons. Don't listen to them. If someone tells you that something's going to kill Call of Duty, that person's a moron. Don't listen to them. They're thinking with their heart, they're thinking with their passion, they're thinking with their hatred for Call of Duty, and that's fine if you don't like Call of Duty. I'm not saying you have to, but to insinuate that something that's been around for damn near 20 years doing the same thing at a highly proficient level is going to be killed by some new thing is fucking stupid. It's stupid. You lack business acumen. You lack many things. Unless there was an absolutely sharp decline that you could see in the numbers, which you know these motherfuckers aren't studying, you can never call that play. Like, even right now, right, I'm excited for Marvel Rivals. And you're going to have idiots who look at the Steam numbers for the game that it's going to be directly compared to, which is Overwatch. And you're going to say, oh my God, Marvel Rivals is killing Overwatch. Let's keep in mind, and no offense meant by this statement, but this is a Chinese company that's making this Marvel Rivals game. And the one thing I worry about with Marvel Rivals, the one thing I'm pretty sure you're going to hear people bitch about within the week of it releasing, and it comes out this Friday, I guarantee you, oh, there's balancing issues. Why does this character suck? Why are these characters useless? You know, people complain about that. Now, people complain about that stuff too in Overwatch, right? But the difference is Overwatch has been doing that since 2015. Marvel Rivals will have one month under its belt by the time Overwatch is at 10 years. Because Overwatch, I believe, came out in 2015. Somebody can check, quote me on that. But I believe Overwatch came out in 2015, at the latest 2017. So next year it'll be on year 8 or 10. You got idiots who are going to look at the Steam numbers for Overwatch and look at the Steam numbers for this Marvel Rivals game and say, oh, Marvel Rivals is killing it because Marvel Rivals will naturally have a high player number. It's going to be a new free game with an established IP of characters, that being the Marvel characters, and its numbers are going to be highly inflated because it's new and it's the newest thing. However, video game suits, you know those guys that you motherfuckers hate, are very smart. And if they start putting out rumors that game is getting shut down a year from now, it's because something bad has happened. Now, knock on wood, I hope that's not the case, because I actually like what I've seen so far. And hopefully I like what I actually play, because I haven't gotten into any of the betas. But what you guys have to understand is, one, most of Overwatch players play it through Battle.net. Apparently, based on the Battle.net numbers, Overwatch gets 3 million players a day. That's right. Way more players than Fortnite. Overwatch gets 3 million players a day. Don't mind you, Overwatch is a game that had a whole entire professional fucking league based around it. I think it still does. I've heard rumors that league was shutting down, But I think that league still exists. Whole sports teams, they were playing Overwatch on ESPN. Marvel Rivals ain't gonna be able to say that by the end of December. So Marvel Rivals may not be able to say that by March or June. I'm not wishing bad on Marvel Rivals, but I'm being honest. You guys gotta stop buying into these fucking grifts that these games are just gonna come out and destroy these established IPs. It's bullshit. As a matter of fact, let's just be real. And I'm getting to that point that I alluded to earlier. XDefiant never stood a chance. XDefiant coming out was a formality. You know why XDefiant was a formality? What happened on October 13th, Friday, October 13th, 2023? Microsoft bought Activision, Blizzard, and King. And subsequently, by Microsoft buying and closing out the purchase of Activision, Blizzard, King, who owned the streaming rights to Call of Duty and every other Activision game that came out henceforth? Ubisoft. Ubisoft on that day quite literally gained the streaming rights. That means that whenever Microsoft wants to stream that game, like you can stream Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6 off of xbox.com/play right now, they have to pay Ubisoft for the rights to be able to do that. Because selling the streaming rights to Activision games was the only way they were going to get the CMA to get off their backs. So Ubisoft, on that same day that Microsoft gained Activision Blizzard King, gained Activision Blizzard King for all his purposes. Not King, I don't think, but I'm definitely Activision. I'm not even sure if they got the Blizzard stuff. I'm pretty sure they got the Activision stuff, which includes, obviously, Call of Duty. The moment they released XDefiant, it was just a formality. They knew that game wasn't going to work. They had spent money on it. So they just put it out. That game was never going anywhere. And don't be surprised if that guy who was in charge of it, Mark Rubin, if he don't fucking go to one of them teams full of one of them other ex Call of Duty devs, or if he don't go back to Treyarch and start working for fucking Microsoft and helping them develop that game again. That game coming out was just a formality of, we spent money on this shit, we might as well put it out. But truth be told, we don't want it to beat this big cash cow game that we basically just gained the rights to. Most consumers, especially these fucking grifters, aren't savvy enough to fucking see that. So they sat there and they followed the grift. And believe it or not, a lot of them are. Right? Which is why they sat there and they made grift videos telling you guys, oh, it's going to beat it and blah, blah, blah. They fucking knew. They fucking knew. It's hard to crush an established IP. It's hard to take down something that has been around for years, more or less decades. You're going to hear the same stupid shit with Marvel Rivals. Oh, yeah, Marvel Rivals is fucking killing Overwatch. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it is not. Overwatch is, I believe, is ridiculously popular in Asia, which, mind you, Marvel Rivals is coming out of that space. But it's two things. Marvel Rivals is a third-person shooter, not a first-person shooter, which Overwatch is. Secondly, again, Overwatch has roots, and I don't even like Overwatch right now, right? I liked it when it was 6v6. I do not like the 5v5. It's the newest characters haven't really put me in or interested me that much in going back to the game. Again, I am hyped for Marvel Rivals. I'm going to play Marvel Rivals, but I'm not going to sit here and play Marvel Rivals expecting it, A, to kill Overwatch, and B, to last longer than a year or two. And I don't give a damn what characters are attached to it. The same, and it's funny that this happened to XDefiant quite literally on the cusp of two games that are launching that people seem to think are going to destroy established IPs. Because, what is it, the Delta Force game? You got the fucking nerds riding that game, right? Oh yeah, Delta Force is going to kill Battlefield and COD. Okay, let's see a year from now if these motherfuckers keep that same energy. Because when you put that much pressure on a new IP, I don't give a fuck how much greener the grass is on that side of the fence. That is a very hard mountain to climb. These games like Battlefield, as bad as it's gotten, and you can look at the logo for my channel. I am a Battlefield stan. As bad as Battlefield has gotten, it has long roots. 2001, I believe was Battlefield 1942, and you can go back even further than that. In Operation Eagle or Iron Eagle, the original DICE variant of Battlefield, like that format been around for a very long time. They have extremely loyal fan base. I expect Delta Force to do well, but this insinuation, this idea that Delta Force is somehow going to snuff Battlefield or snuff Call of Duty, don't let these stupid motherfuckers tell you that shit. You give Delta Force, you give Marvel Rivals, you give any game that's coming out in those spaces where there's already an established IP, you give them a year time clock. If within a year they're still there, you can consider that conversation. But don't let a fucking grifter of any kind tell you, oh, this game's going to kill Call of Duty, this game's going to kill fucking Battlefield, this game's going to kill Overwatch. That's horse shit. Only a goofy motherfucker believes that. Those games are dug in like ticks. Okay? It's going to be very, very difficult to get rid of those games. They're still sitting there every day. Somebody comes out and says, oh, yeah, this game's going to beat Fortnite. Bullshit. Don't let any grifter tell you that something's going to die because some new hot idea came out. Because at the end of the day, if those games were even on the cusp of dying because some random ass game came out, they wouldn't be as popular as they are. Next time somebody tell you, oh, this game's gonna be a Call of Duty killer, ignore that person. They're an idiot. Somebody tell you there's an Overwatch killer coming out, ignore that person. They're a fucking idiot. You clearly don't understand business, right? And we got to start understanding that some stuff exists for a reason, right? And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not trying to champion something like a skill-based matchmaking. But obviously, it's working. Because if it wasn't working, they would have stopped doing it. The idea of manipulating the game servers so that this group of people has a better chance of winning, and then that group of people has a better chance of winning, that's really just... It's really a sports thing. I believe that's how schedules are made in sports. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's how... Like, my whole point is this, and I haven't done the research on this, but I believe it sounds like something they do to build schedules for teams in sports. I'm pretty sure there are people that are way smarter than you or me who sit in an office year in and year out and work on perfecting that formula so that it works to the point where the average Joe who isn't spending time on the internet watching fucking grifters and nerds rage about the shit's existence, they spend time making sure that that person doesn't notice it at all. To them, sometimes they have good games, sometimes they have bad games. But the whole point is they're having fun because they're not sitting in lobbies with dudes who clearly don't wash their ass every day. And that's the point. All right, like, and if you don't understand what I'm about at this point, man, I am the anti-grifter channel. And some people might call me a grifter myself. I don't grift for shit. I'll tell you if I know the truth or I feel a certain way about something, I don't give a damn how popular it is. I'm going to say it. And I'm telling you right now, as far as I'm concerned, skill-based matchmaking might be a necessary evil. Because there are way too many people who don't do anything else with their time but sit on the fucking game and play it all day. And if you come home from work and all you face is dudes like that every time you cut your game on, you won't be cutting it on for that long. And even with that being said, I've seen, comedic videos where dudes or memes like where dudes are posting up pictures of Michael Jordan on the Wizards saying cutting on Call of Duty at 30 years old. And it's like they must feel like they're just nowhere near as good as they used to be, which means that, guess what? Dun, 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 dun. Next year, skill-based matchmaking will be even more stringent because they don't want that person posting up those memes. The whole idea is that those guys and gals who come home from work can cut on a game that they've been playing for 10 plus years and feel like they're useful in it. That's the whole point. And you got people out here who just want to go in the lobby and pub stump. I believe that's the term. And they don't like that shit. Because how come I can't just go in here and kill everybody with some cheap fucking weapon or some cheap fucking tactic? How come I can't do that and have my fun? It's like, well, you sit on the fucking game all day. At some point, you got to lose. That's pretty much what skill-based matchmaking says. Hey, bro, you ain't washed your ass. You want to get up and wash your ass? You want to get up and touch grass? You want to get up and go outside and get some sunlight or something? You want to stop peeing in fucking Coke bottles under your desk and get up and actually, use the fucking bathroom like a normal human being? You want to get up and do something? You want to go find a fucking job? Or get your degree? Go do something other than play the fucking game all day. That was me. You know what? I didn't need to say that. But I did. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm always going to point out the grift. These motherfuckers that complain about skill-based matchmaking also, they're grifters. They're grifters. If they go into a fucking lobby and pub stomp and kill 50 motherfuckers, no sweating whatsoever, you wouldn't hear shit from them. Activision is the only company that says, no, you motherfuckers don't make us enough money for us to let you do that. And that's all it is. And they're crying about it. Plain and simple. And they're crying about it to the point where now they're bitching about, oh, there's skill-based damage. Nigga, what? Come on, bro. Stop. That's enough. Anyway, I'm done. I know I'm probably going to catch all kinds of hell from certain Call of Duty grifters if this video gets out. I don't give a shit. It is what it is. It is what it is. If y'all motherfuckers hate that game so much, you wouldn't mention it all. You know how you make something go away? You act like it doesn't exist. It's, believe it or not, they're not like the It. It's not like the It monster. But you know, and I know, that if you don't make any kind of video about Call of Duty, the actual game that fucking matters in that genre, you won't get any viewers. So, you're a fucking grifter. Anyway, enjoy your games, folks. Mind the grift. And, yeah, man. Just don't let these goofy motherfuckers lie to you about anything, man. It's hard to kill something that's been around for years, and it makes total sense for a corporation to want the masses to be able to enjoy that game as opposed to, the few. Simple logic. Have a good one. See you next video.